Hey, this is Mike from the Graphic Novel Show. Are you interested in starting and running your own podcast? Well, you know, this is the second one that we've done. We used to do a different one, and we decided to start this one. And last time we used Anchor, and you know what? We decided to go back with Anchor again because they are the easiest way to make a podcast. They give you everything you need in one place for free. You can do it right from your phone or on your computer. Anchor gives you creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. You can do that right from your phone. That's quite amazing. They'll also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Now, what you need to do is go download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hi, I'm Parker, and I use they, them pronouns.
And I'm Mike, and I am he, him, and whatever else fits. And this is the Graphic Novel Podcast. Welcome to our show.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, this is a show where we read graphic novels or sometimes some short comics, zines, things like that. And then we do a review discussion. And we can talk about a lot of different things on this show.
Sometimes we talk about divorce. Sometimes we talk about abortion. A lot of times we talk about queer issues.
We have kids and relationships, all different kinds of stuff. So, yeah. So it's a cool show. And we're glad you're listening. And if you like our show, we'd appreciate if you go to
Twitter, go to Apple Podcasts, and give us a great rating. And if you leave a review, we may read it on the air.
And if you visit us at anchor.fm, Graphic Novel Podcast, you can actually leave a voice message that we can play on the air.
That's exciting. Do you remember growing up and hearing your voice, thinking how cool it would be to hear your voice on the radio? Yeah.
All right. Well, and on to today's show.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Parker. How's it going?
It's going. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. First full week of 2020. We're going to blow up the whole world because our president is a lunatic.
That's not good.
Oh.
That's not good.
Oh, it's not.
No.
No, I'm saying this is how the decade starts.
I know.
With a fucking lunatic in office.
Yeah, depression is setting in a bit.
Yes, it's well, I had it for the first 2 years. It got a little better.
Yeah.
But anyhow, let's you know what? I forgot to pull it up, but we're going to talk a little bit about, I've got a couple previews. Why don't we do those first?
Go for it.
Yeah. So from Titan Comics, they've got, it's a comic. It's not a graphic novel, but it's Adler #1. It's the League of Extraordinary Gentlewomen as Adler teams up with a host of famous female faces from science, history, and literature to defeat the greatest criminal mastermind of all time.
Ooh.
Irene Adler, who was Sherlock Holmes' nemesis, the only woman who could match his wit. She comes face to face with the greatest villain of all time. Adler's journey brings together a host of famous Victorian heroines, such as Jane Eyre, Marie Curie.
Anytime I hear heroin.
Yeah, heroin.
I always think of that Bob's Burgers episode.
Oh, I know it. An alternate history of the greatest literary characters of the 19th century in the vein of Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill's The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Perfect for fans of BBC, Sherlock TV show, and detective fiction.
Oh, wow.
Written by
right up your alley.
Yeah, written by a World Fantasy Award winner, Lavi Tidhar, with art by Paul McCaffrey. And it comes with 4 different colors to collect because, you know, we got to have a bunch of different colors.
Covers. Is that something that's new?
No,
they've always done like multiple cover.
They do that. It's the only way they can try and sell more copies.
I don't know about the only way, but
yeah, one of the ways.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But that was one that's from Titan Comics, and that is coming out. This one is not brand new, but I found it. And it's pretty cool. It's called Pinocchio, Vampire Slayer.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's favorite wooden puppet may not be a real boy, but he just might be a real hero. When bloodthirsty monsters invade Pinocchio's hometown and kill his father Geppetto, Pinocchio discovers a new benefit to his magical nose. Telling lies produces a never-ending supply of wooden stakes to combat the vampire hordes.
Yes.
Will Pinocchio be able to defeat these horrors, avenge his father, and save his friends?
Nice.
Yeah, I was looking. There's 3 graphic novels available. And in the third one, he's a real boy, so he doesn't have that editability of never-ending stakes. So I'm sure things get tricky.
Oh.
Yeah.
How does he become a real boy?
I don't remember the story.
I don't either.
I don't remember.
When you first read that to me too, I was thinking, isn't Geppetto the little cricket? And I was like, oh no, that's...
No.
Well, the father doesn't play a huge role in the story. He's like at the beginning and then at the end, right?
I don't know at the beginning.
Maybe I am just not.
Maybe
I just don't remember the story at all.
You know what it is, right?
Yeah, he tells lies and his nose grows.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a whole middle part, like he escapes or something, right? Like he goes off on his own.
Could be.
Am I like combining Disney movies?
You might be.
That's what I think I'm doing.
You might be. All right. So there was. Where is it here? Why don't you talk?
What would you like me to talk about? You're doing the previews.
Well, the previews are done.
Oh, okay. Should we go into this week's show then?
No. We were going to talk about this other aspect of.
Oh, but if you can't find it, then we'll.
Well, no, I found the Twitter handle.
Okay, but that does no good if you can't find the tweet.
It's at Comic Book Yeti, and the whole point of it is, as reviewers, we don't get paid to do this.
We don't.
We don't get paid.
That's it. I'm done.
To do this, and it sometimes costs us money. I mean, we spend over $100 at Short Run Seattle to buy books, so we could support artists and creators and have new material to review.
Right.
And so we're in the hole for that. But
we're not in the hole because we so much enjoy.
Well, definitely. I agree 100%.
And I mean, I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Monetarily,
mm-hmm.
we are technically
in the
hole. And if you don't count any of the time spent, doing the actual recording and the editing and, the tweets and all that stuff.
Right.
All the producing stuff that goes along with it, which is time, and time is money.
No, I agree. All right. So what happens is apparently this Comic Book Yeti, they do reviews, and they had.
We don't listen to it though.
No,
is it a podcast? No, they have a blog or something, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I follow them, but I think they just do. They have a blog or something. But we should probably check it out and find out exactly what it is.
Well, since we're talking about it, yeah, we probably should. It's probably a good idea.
So what happens is they have this long Twitter tweet thread. I can't think of the word. About basically it says, friends, I want to talk a little bit about criticism and feedback in the role of review sites. And right away, it's something that I thought about because they said that they would only do positive reviews, which is something that we have said that we would only do books that we felt that we both, or at least one of us thought was worth talking about. I mean, we don't both have to like every book and everything about every book.
We're not. I mean, it's hard to find books that you like everything about. Right.
But this is not like my comics TV show from the 90s where somebody in Buffalo would give us their comic that was terrible. And we would go on the air and say, this book was horrible. The artwork was bad. The guy was a real nice guy, and thanks for the book, but this was horrible. And we had no mercy at all. I'm surprised people didn't want to kill us. But
me too.
But I mean, we had no mercy. And since I've become a creator over the years and stuff, I understand all of it a lot more.
Right.
And I was just young and stupid then. But yeah, so I mean, people don't want people to dislike their work. At the same time,
I mean, I get it. You put hours upon hours upon hours into not just drawing, but you have to create the story and you have to then draw it. And then, you do the drawing and the redrawing and the inking. And I mean, there's so much more that goes into it than we spend sometimes. I mean, I've read some of these graphic novels in an hour and a half.
I know.
And
it bothers some creators that it took you an hour and a half when it took them, months. 5 months to do the whole thing. Absolutely.
And a lot of times I will go back and, look over them again and just try and find, because sometimes I get really into them. And so it's like, I want to find out what happens next.
Well, we've talked about that. Our son, our oldest, they just got a book the other day. They read it in the store before we even left.
Yes.
There's no way you can read a graphic novel that fast. Obviously, they are reading very fast through everything.
Yeah.
But they will read that book probably 30 times more.
Yes. They'll just pick it up. They'll just turn to any page.
Yes. It's the weirdest
and they
thing.
Just read.
And they just start reading from any page. It's so weird. It's like they don't leave a bookmark or anything. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they'll leave something. They'll fold the book open. I know. I saw your
see
face.
The look of disgust on my face.
They'll leave the book folded.
It kills him just to say it.
But I love that they read, and they read so much. Like they read that book. They read the other one that we got for the holidays for them.
Yeah, for
same thing. Yeah. They read that one in the same sitting.
Yep.
But they will go back and they'll read them over and over and over. And they read so much that they damage the books.
Yes.
I mean, they lose covers and pages and everything because they read them to death.
Yes.
They don't take care of them. They just read them to death.
Yeah.
Which is, in one way, I'm really glad.
Yeah.
In another way, their sister's not going to get anything handed down.
She'll probably have different interests.
Probably
won't be interested in the same stuff.
So this Comics Yeti is saying that, like if there's a couple times that they put out books, they reviewed books that they weren't 100% happy with.
Yeah.
They liked it overall, but there were some criticisms in it. And they said that they didn't feel that it was fair to tag the creator, like when they did it. And we've done that a couple times where we didn't tag the person when we did the review because for the same reason, it was, this wasn't our favorite book. So maybe we won't tag you.
Yeah.
And, like it said, this is a quote here, creativity is fragile and it's not my place to rub people's noses in negative feedback, however well-intentioned.
Yeah.
That being said, I've had creators push back on what didn't work section, even when the review was overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
I mean, they go on to say, for another, I'm not your marketing department. I don't get paid to promote your book. I don't get paid at all. And you aren't entitled to a flawless review filled with pull quotes for your comic. Don't treat me or my site or honestly any other critics like it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that's what we are. We're critics.
Yeah.
I don't feel like
we delve that deeply in. Like we're not knowledgeable enough. I don't feel like that we delve really deeply into.
I never did even with Comics TV, and when we'd have my friend Bill on, who was a comic book person, who knew like whole story arcs of like Batman and everything, going back forever, and all the creators and the artists and everything. He would look at a book and he did some interviews for us. And he would just ask these creators stuff that I never even would think of because
it makes
he
a
was
big difference when
you
have that knowledge.
He was so more knowledgeable and so more.
And you were
so much more knowledgeable. And he would ask the right questions and just, it seemed like a much more professional interview. But we did a lot of the same things. And even when we did our brew talk, at first I had canned questions because I didn't know exactly what to ask people. But then I started to understand the industry more and how.
Well, that's how it works too. You gain knowledge as you go. At least if you're doing it right.
Yeah, and we did, and and that's what happened. Then a lot of times there would be a few questions that I'd have, and then the whole interview I would just do off the cuff because I would.
Well, you just kind of had conversations with people.
Yes, it was good.
Yeah. No, I thought you.
The second half was probably a lot.
There was
better.
A lot of growth that happened between the first and last episode of Northwest Talk with
definitely.
your interviews. Absolutely.
Yep. Another thing, this comic book Yeti says, I'm not here to sell your book for you. I'm not here to signal boost every comic that someone tags me in their tweet with a daily Kickstarter countdown. I'm not here to say every comic is perfect. That would make my site useless. And basically what we're saying is, a lot of these comics and the graphic novels that we read, we really like. Yeah. I mean, we like them a lot, and we don't know that going in a lot of times. We start reading them, and it's like crowded, like the first couple pages. I wasn't a huge fan, but once I started reading it, I liked it. You, on the other hand, loved it from the cover on. Yeah. I mean, you love the book, and right, crowded.
Yes. Sorry, I missed one. I'm sorry. Crowded. I was daydreaming. I think I don't know. I missed the title. I was like, wait, what book did I like?
Yes, but you did. You liked it even
absolutely.
more than I did.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there were other ones, like some of them. They're really good stories.
Yeah.
Even the one that we had a big controversy about. We both agreed that the artwork was good and the story and everything, but the content was something we didn't agree on.
Well, I mean, look, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this, but what it comes down to is if I see somebody who has a lot of privilege writing a story, and I feel the misogyny or racism or classism or sexism or the list could go on, all the isms, then I'm going to say something about it.
Yeah.
And as somebody who has less privilege than you, even Mike, you are a white guy, white cis guy.
Right.
You have a lot of privilege. I'm a queer white person. I have the privilege of being white, but most of my other privileges don't exist.
Right.
So, it's, being trans, when I see transphobia, I'm going to call it out, and maybe the intent wasn't necessarily there. But I'm going to say something because I'm not going to just let it slide by.
Right.
So I try to call that kind of stuff out when I see it. And I think that a lot of people, when they have those privileges, they don't necessarily see it or feel it. And if the intent wasn't there, then the creator might get upset. And, they had their opportunity to put that out into the world. And I have my opportunity to, quote unquote, criticize it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. So anyhow, going forward, for the most part, we are only going to review a book. If we both read a book one week and we both hated it, we just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
We would just have to pick something else. I mean, if we had to, we just skip the show that week. But so far,
or I think we'd most likely find another book.
But so far, we've been lucky that we've pretty much liked every book that we've done. Yeah. They've all had something interesting, that we've been able to.
But I also don't want to put. I'm not going to put something out there with like my dishonest opinion. Like I'm not going to say, it was, the artwork was good, and then leave off the things that I didn't like about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's more about it that I don't like, then we're not going to do a show about it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it for me to lie about what I see.
Yeah. There was one book that I was not 100% thrilled with. And I think I didn't give that out completely because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So anyhow, why don't we get on with this week?
I know we're like, a quarter of the way through the show, and we haven't even announced the show that we're.
Well, we've announced that.
We haven't said it yet. Have we said the story?
No, but it's brand new from.
Not even out yet.
Yeah, from Random House, from their new graphics. Is it graphics? You've got the intro there. Their brand new imprint that they're going to be doing, because Random House came out last year, said that they want to get graphic novels on every kid's bookshelf in America.
But I don't think that's. I don't think that's a difficult goal to reach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So what is the book?
The book is
there's like 5 books coming out, 6 books coming out, and this is the first one.
The Runaway Princess.
Yeah.
By Johan
Troïanowski.
Troïanowski?
Yeah.
Which we may be butchering. Did you look
I think it is Troïanowski.
You tried to find out.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
Yeah. Okay, so about the Runaway Princess. It comes out, we'll start there. It comes out January 21st, 2020. And it's coming out in hardcover, paperback, or ebook.
Paperback too, huh?
Yeah.
All at once. That's cool.
Is it all at once? Let me see. Paperback. It doesn't say, but I think same time.
Okay.
Has them all listed there.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay, so about the Runaway Princess. This princess can't resist the lure of adventure, but her parents aren't quite on board with this fantastical graphic novel and Oh, perfect for fans of Princess in Black and Phoebe and her unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Robin, where are you?
I don't know. Where are you?
She couldn't have gone far. Princesses don't run away to have their own adventures, right? Princesses stay quietly and obediently at home. They would never want mermaids and swamps and pirates getting kidnapped to be part of their lives. Not this princess. Adventures await when Robin, bored of princessing all the time, embarks on the best adventure of her life, meeting friends along the way as she travels through the magical landscape of her country. But her parents aren't so pleased, and they're coming to find her and bring her back to the castle, no matter how she feels about it.
Sounds like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are getting sick of princessing and princing.
That just came out fresh today. That is a hot off the press.
I mean,
topic there.
They're adults, but I mean, sometimes maybe the spotlight's too much.
Well, and I don't.
Away from it.
I'm sure that part of it is that did she just have a baby, or is she pregnant?
No, I think
I don't follow it that closely.
She just had one.
But I'm wondering if I shouldn't comment on it.
I know what you want to say, but don't say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's always.
But I mean, like, he's not in line to be king necessarily. So
he kills his brother.
Okay, he's not in line to be king. I mean, the potential is there. If his brother died, right, then he would be king.
I believe, yes.
If he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's how it works.
I
don't have the knowledge on this. I shouldn't be commenting. But my point is, he probably feels like he has the ability to take a step away if he needs to. Mm-hmm. His brother probably feels more obligation to.
Maybe. Yeah.
Everything.
So what else about the book? Any other details?
That was the whole.
How many pages is it?
It is 272 pages.
And how much?
$12.99 for paperback.
Oh, that's a good price.
Yeah, that is a good price. I don't see the hardcover price here.
Okay. Well, about the author, Johan Troïanowski was born in Lyon in 1985. He graduated from Beaux Arts de Toulon in 2003, then started a comics anthology called Brilliant. In 2006, he created and became president of the association Little Blue Bear and White Rabbit, which promotes graphic novels. He's also an advocate for wordless comics, as well as making graphic novels. He writes and illustrates poetry for children and runs workshops around the country. This is a guy who's just born in 1985, and he's doing all these amazing things for kids.
Yeah.
Poetry, illustrates poetry, and runs workshops.
Yeah.
I mean, this is very cool.
I know. I'm just raising kids.
Yeah, no kidding.
Thanks.
So the Runaway Princess.
No kidding.
It is from Random House Graphic. The debut list includes Bug Boys, Aster and the Accidental Magic, The Runaway Princess, and Witchlight. Those are the first 4 that are coming out. And there's 3 separate stories in this book. And as I was reading it on my phone because I was reading it on my breaks. And this is a graphic novel, full color, big pages.
Full color too. That makes it such
big
a big
pages.
Difference.
Yeah. And it was hard to read. It was
just because it was on the phone.
Yeah, it was
I read it on the laptop and it was way easier.
Yeah,
it was way easier.
But it is very cool.
Yes, I love the artwork.
Yes, the artwork was really good.
I like that map too.
Yeah, there's maps throughout it. And I'd finish a story, and I'm like, oh, great, it's done. Very cool. Flip the page. I'm like, what the fuck? There's another story here. And I read that one. I'm like, oh, okay. So the first one is the princess runs away she runs away, and she ends up meeting people, and then they become part of the next story, and they continue on as friends, and they all become part of the story, and all these things run together and stuff, and it's cool. It's a
nice little story.
It is. It's for middle grade students.
Is that what it said?
Mm-hmm.
I missed that part.
It was in your thing there.
I read it? I read that part out loud.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
You didn't read it.
I was gonna say, oops.
But there's like
doesn't stick.
Some puzzles and things like that.
Yeah, there's a maze and a dot to dot. We tried to do all the mazes. There was one that I wasn't. It wasn't a maze, but it was like I mean, it was like a math puzzle kind of thing. Well, you didn't have to do math, but you had to follow the numbers, right? And so I felt like the directions were kind of confusing in my brain. Even after I had to read through the directions like 5 times, and I still didn't get it.
It's one of those things where he says, "Turn to page 23, go to page 6." One of those kind of.
But
things.
it wasn't turn to page.
Yes.
It was and
there were panels.
It said go to the number that it corresponds to. So I thought that you just went to the. I thought you go through the panels, and whichever panel you find next that has the same number in it was the one that you went to. I wasn't thinking, okay, I'm picking, like it says 3, so I go to panel 3. I was thinking, okay, it says 3, so I go to the next panel. I search through the panels in order, and I find the one that says 3. Well, I'm not sure if it's just that my brain is wired differently.
It confused me at first. And it was because the panel...
You even explained it to me, and I still didn't get it. And then I reread I probably read the directions 10 times.
The panel numbers should have been just probably just a little more obvious.
Bold, maybe?
Yes, just something. I know they're in squares.
Versus the circles, right?
Yeah, but it threw me off for a moment too. Maybe middle school kids will pick it up right away.
They probably will. They're smarter than us. They're totally smarter than us.
But I mean, this story really is geared towards kids. But it was good. I liked it.
I did too.
I thought it
was cute.
It had this the princess, she runs away.
Who enjoys adventures.
Yes, she enjoys adventures. She meets all these different characters.
And isn't afraid to get dirty and take chances. And I love it when people write girls in this way, because girls shouldn't be afraid to take risks.
No, exactly.
I mean, in the same way that boys aren't afraid.
You're right.
Shouldn't be afraid.
But they're always made to be the maiden in distress.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to climb up the trellis to save them or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, nope, I'm climbing down the trellis and going off and getting
Come
lost.
on. And the friends are all boys, right?
Yep.
It's a group of boys, brothers.
Yep.
And and so she's like,
and they're lost.
They're lost. Well, their parents dropped them.
They just left them. Oh, because they didn't have money. We
can't afford to feed you.
Yes, that's right. So
we're leaving you in the woods.
Yeah. Which is a weird thing. It was a weird thing, but they all hang out together and they find their way out, and then they go on other adventures and stuff.
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a cute book.
Yeah.
And it didn't bore me. I mean, I couldn't read it in one sitting. It was too long. But it was.
I did. I read it in one. I mean, I say this every time. The intent was to read it one sitting, but I had to, get up several times to take care of my children. But
but it was good.
Essentially, I read it in one sitting.
Yeah, it was good, and it's definitely something that the kids would probably like.
Yeah, for sure.
But now again, our oldest said that they'd like us to read one of their Diary of a Wimpy Kid or something.
Yeah, so maybe we can make that a bonus episode or something.
Yeah, maybe do that as a bonus episode, and they'll join us in that episode and talk about it, because they'll be more knowledgeable about the characters.
Oh yes, absolutely, because they love the Diary of a Wimpy. They have, my cousin gave them just a stack of Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, and they just got right into them.
Yeah, but yeah, so we'll probably do one of those new ones. Oh,
we have it, but I don't remember.
Fetch 22, Dog Man.
Is that it?
I think that's the one they wanted us to do, Dog Man.
I don't remember.
Dog Man, Fetch 22.
That's different. Yeah, that's not Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
No, but that's the other one.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the hell they are.
They have, yes. When I was growing up, it was Babysitter's Club and Boxcar Children were the books that we had. We had several copies of them, my brother and I. But now that's the big thing. Diary of a Wimpy Kid and
I don't
Dog.
remember. I don't think we had books when I was little.
We didn't have a ton of books. Our kids definitely have more books than I had.
A ton of books. We always make sure they have books. We buy them books.
Yeah.
Library, everything. But
we used to do those golden whatever they're called.
Well, that's when I was young. That's what my cousin used to give me stuff.
Oh, really?
He used to give me UFO books and
That's not golden.
Dennis
Dennis
the Menace Digest.
Oh.
So I used to read a lot of those.
See, when you say Dennis the Menace, this is just going to show my age a little bit. When you say Dennis the Menace, I don't think of the cartoons. I think of the movie.
Yeah, and that's not cartoons; they're comics.
Comics, yes.
Exactly.
Sorry, I know. I'm a terrible.
There was comic or cartoons too.
Yeah.
No.
We didn't really read the newspaper at my house either, though.
That's what these were. These were like the newspaper strips, in like the Archie size book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
that was so nice of you.
Yeah, I used to love getting those. I used to read those. Mad Magazine too. So yeah, so at a young age, I'd read stuff like that. That's what I would read. And then even when I was 10, 11 years old, I'd be buying heavy metal magazines and reading stuff about that.
Where did you buy heavy metal magazines at 10 and 11 years old?
Grocery store.
You would just, ride your bike to the grocery store?
Oh, no. When we went to the store or Kmart or wherever we went. Yeah.
We don't let our kid buy stuff that often, isn't just...
Yeah. And I didn't have that much money either.
Where did you have an allowance?
No, not when I was little.
Where did you get the money from? Like birthday money? Oh, okay. So it wasn't that often that you were buying it. You make it sound like every week or every other week at the grocery store you were buying.
Yeah, no, but I bought them often enough.
Huh. I don't remember ever buying things at the grocery store. I probably did, but I don't remember it.
It might not have been the grocery store. It could have been the drugstore. Drugstores were.
But do you think at that age, do you think you were driving to the?
No.
Okay.
I was driven to the drugstore to buy cigarettes for my mother.
Oh, that's right.
I think we talked about that before, didn't we?
We did, I think. I don't ever remember.
With a note.
Buying. I remember this. I remember the brand of cigarettes that my dad smoked.
Right.
Or a long time ago. The Nows.
Mm-hmm.
The like a silver package with like a maroon. And then later on, I think because my grandmother used to smoke Marlboros, that my mother started smoking Marlboro Ultralights.
Yeah, because those are so much better for you.
So much better.
They're ultra light. They're long and ultra light.
They're ultra light on the cancer, except not.
Exactly.
We will destroy your lungs.
We'll just do it ultra light.
Ultra lightly. Except not, because it was very heavy. You just smoke back half. I mean, at one point, I think my dad was like a 2-pack a day smoker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, my mother's was True Green 100s.
True Green 100s.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember. Smoked those for years. And like I said, we used to go to, there was a Leader drugstore, still a chain. I don't know. I've seen them somewhere out here, but it used to be a big chain. And, she would drive. I'd get out, go in with a note, hand the note to the cashier with the money, and they'd give me a pack of cigarettes.
It's so fun. I mean, part of it too was, did you feel like you kind of knew the cashier at all? Like, was it the same person every time? No.
Nope.
Okay. Because I could see that in a small town where they know that you're buying them for your parent or whatever. And you were pretty young. I mean, the
10-year-old probably is not going to be buying cigarettes for themselves.
Probably not.
I might have been even younger than that. Too.
Oh, really? Yeah. Although there was that video. I saw a video of that little like toddler smoking. I mean, it was in like Korea or something.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He was smoking like 2 packs a day.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's weird.
It was
sick.
Anyhow,
we're going down
a really weird path.
So
Marlboro 100s. My neighbors used to smoke Marlboro 100s, right? And so we had to. They would have us during the summer sit out on the front porch. Us being me and my brother, and my neighbor who was the same age as my brother, and her little sister, and who was I think 2 or 3 years younger than me, sit and cut out the UPC codes because you sent the UPC codes in, and then you'd get for Marlboro, and then you get
all kinds of
gifts.
shit.
But they were fucking slave laboring.
Yes,
it's not slave labor, child labor. I mean,
everybody did that shit. Yeah, they used to get all kinds of crap.
They would have bags and bags and bags of them, and I'm like, oh my god, why were we as children? This is a fun thing to do. Let's cut out the UPC code. I loved it. I mean, I didn't see anything wrong with it at the time, but now if there were parents doing it, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Anyhow,
got to normalize that cigarette smoking.
Yep.
Get your kids into it.
Runaway Princess coming out this month,
January 21st. Absolutely, go buy it.
Nice
your kids
book.
will love it.
Yep,
and you will probably enjoy it too.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good book. Thanks for listening this week. Until next time. What was that?
Waiting for you to finish.
Oh, okay. Till next time, I'm Mike.
And I'm Parker.
And this is
the Graphic Novel Podcast. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy listening to our podcast, make sure that you like, share, give us a great rating. We love to hear back. You can find us on Twitter at Graphic Novel Pod, or you can check out our Instagram at Graphic Novel Podcast.
Or you can visit our website. We got a brand new website. It is graphicnovelpodcast.com. Or you can send us a comment or question or any kind of thing like that.
Yeah, we love hearing from our listeners.
Request for a book to be reviewed or anything like that to graphicnovelpodcast@gmail.com. And biggest thing, if you're listening to the podcast and you like it, visit your favorite podcast distribution host like iTunes or whatever, and give us a review. Give us Stitcher, Breaker, all them, and give us a review and stars, because that's.
Hey, if you give us 5 stars in a review, we may read it on there.
Yes, we will definitely, and that will help us expand the number of people listening to our show.
That's the best way that we can share our show is by our listeners.
That's right. So thanks for listening again this week.